All right. I think we are live. Sorry about that. I had to change the time of this several different times, and then when I tried to get on like a half hour ago, I had to reset the router, so that took some time. But I wanted to jump on in here and talk about the stars of Ghislaine Maxwell. If you don't know who that is, she was the right hand to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sure you know who he is. So let's jump right on in here. So I posted her chart on the thumbprint, and I know you probably can't see it all that good, so I printed it out for you all to see. And that is her chart. Good morning, Lady Eyes of Green. How are you this morning? Happy Friday. Oh my God, thank God it's Friday. I went on here yesterday and said happy Saturday because I think I wanted the weekend to start soon. But we're going to go over her stars. All right. You made it. Yay. Kapooey. I got it right, I think. Let me I should have brought up my website so I can read this to you. But I had said the other day, if the devil was a woman, her name would be Ghislaine Maxwell, because this is a human being who, there's no moral conscience, okay? And everything in her life has been geared towards money. It's all about money. Money, 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 money. So here we go. I nailed it. Yes. Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell is born on December 26th. I put the 25th in my newsletter, so I'll have to fix that. I need to double check that as well. Now, I know it's December 26th because I Googled it and double checked her birthday. I accidentally put it in as the 25th on my newsletter, but it is December 26th, 1961, and she is born in the sun sign of Capricorn. This represents wealth, and this also represents karma. There are two signs in the zodiac that will never get away with murder or like what she was doing, sex trafficking. And those two signs are Capricorn and Pisces. Those two signs will never get away with any kind of murder, any kind of stealing, embezzling. Karma will always catch up to them. The reason being, souls born in January, or in her case, December, because she's a December Capricorn, and souls born in March, Pisces, both your planets, Saturn and Neptune, are ruled karmically. There's karma involved. So those two signs, if you're Pisces or you're Capricorn, just know that you will never get away with murder. So be the good little goat and be the good little Piscean. Do good things, and karma will repay you. Karma can be good and bad. Please remember, karma is good or bad, depending on your actions in life. So let's start with that, with this Ghislaine Maxwell woman. If you look on her chart, I'm going to bring the chart back up for you so you can see this. I want you to focus on her second house for a minute. That is where my finger is, right here. See this house? God, I hope I'm centering this correctly. Let me go back to it. See this? Right here, where my finger is. See that house, the second house? There's a stellium there. A stellium is 3 or more planets. So if we have a cluster of planets there, we've got the sun, we've got Mars, we've got Mercury, and we have Saturn. So I'm going to start off with Mars, because when I looked into her stars on the chart analysis, Mars is one of her planets that is in a critical degree. So when a person's operating, that one of their planets is in a critical degree, it doesn't bring the positiveness of that placement. Usually Mars in Capricorn is probably one of the best placements for this planet to be. Before we go on, let me talk about her second house is in Capricorn. This rules possessions. This rules wealth. This rules money. This is our money house, okay? She has the Sun and the Mars, which the Mars is in critical degrees. She has Saturn, she has Mercury, and they're all residing within her second house, making the energies very strong for making money. Her circle of friends were very wealthy, very famous. Oh, very famous. They were elitist. And she definitely had powerful connections. And she knew people with lots of wealth, money, and power. I just want to take a closer look into her second house as we start with Mars and Capricorn, which in its critical degrees, normally, like I said, a Mars in Capricorn is considered a very good placement, as Capricorn can discipline the aggressive planet Mars. Souls with this placement will always look for a position of power and status, but because her Mars is in a critical degree, her misuse of power is shown by how she groomed and lured 13 and 14-year-old girls as basically Epstein's sex slaves. The second house placement also makes her protective of the possessions that she has acquired and will vigorously fight anyone who tries to take those possessions away or tries to gain control of her resources or take them away from her. She is being a bit difficult. My understanding is she's not, I think she's secretly married. She's not revealing who she's married to, and things like that. The house she bought was $1 million home somewhere in the boonies where you couldn't get to her quickly. So she, I think, subconsciously knew they were coming for her eventually. Where was I? I'm going to put my glasses on so I could read this better. She is the type of person who knows what she wants, and she won't stop at anything until she gets what she wants. Another placement to this is that she is a compulsive shopper, and that she has lived a very lavish and privileged lifestyle for many, many years on the backs of innocent teenage girls, unfortunately. This placement is also where she loses many things and many people in her life. So Mars and Capricorn, remember Capricorn being karmic as well. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Now here's where I've always counseled my clients on things, and I've always said, hey, sweet butterfly girl, how are you today? I've always counseled my clients, and I always say where Saturn is placed in our chart, it can go two ways. It can be the positive part of Saturn where there's structure and there's discipline, or it can be the negative side of Saturn where it is the fear principle and disease sets in. And in her case, she had Saturn in her second house. Going back to the chart. Let me see. Saturn right there. Okay. Anytime you have Saturn in the second house, I had an aunt who had a placement like this, and how do I put this in tactful terms? They're misers with their money. Okay. I had an aunt who was like this, and we would go out to lunch or something. She would never want to tip the waitress what they were worth. I mean, I get it if it was crummy service, but general rule of thumb, you tip 15 to 20%, right? That's what we do. That's what I do. I had an aunt who never wanted to do this. She always wanted to leave them far less than, not even 10%. And I'm like, you can't do that. These people make a living off of their tips. So having Saturn in the second house, remember, this is the devil particle too of anybody's chart. Wherever you have Saturn, wherever you have Capricorn, you have the devil in your zodiac. I'm not saying this to be negative. We have to use the devil to your advantage. I always say, better to ride the devil than have the devil ride you. That's what I mean by that. It's an astrological term. It's not some Satanistic term. I'm not a Satanist, but it's just a term I use in my method of astrology to explain to you. I mean, think about it. The Christians subconsciously chose the devil, the head of the devil, as the head of evil. Okay? The devil in his negative, like even when we get a tarot card with the devil, I have to sit there and explain to my clients what the devil actually means. And there are some tarot readers that freak out. Oh my God, you got the devil. The devil is not a bad thing to draw in a tarot deck. The devil and his positiveness, is about, how do I put this? Let's start with the negative. The negative of the devil is manipulation. He's the manipulator. He knows how to talk a good talk. He can get people to do what he wants by manipulating him, by manipulating his words. He's the great manipulator. But you can also use his, wherever he's placed in your stars, you can use that power to not manipulate, but he's also, wherever the devil is and Saturn and Capricorn are in your horoscope, he is also where high metaphysical spiritual knowledge comes into place, the taboo, the unknown. So using the devil in our chart to our advantage is always going to benefit. And this is not to say like Capricorns. I'm not saying Capricorns are ruled by the devil. I'm a Capricorn. I'm just saying that wherever you have Saturn and Capricorn placed in your chart, you have the devil energy. And you use the devil to your advantage. You don't let him use you. You use him. That's what I'm trying to say. She obviously let the devil use her. Anytime you have Saturn in the second house, you have a miser, you have a cheapskate, you have someone that cares nothing more than money, 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 money. And that's exactly what happened here. Now, let's see. September, October, November. Okay. December, January, February. Now I want to move on to something else. Before I read to you what I wrote on my newsletter, I want to move over to the third house, because you see that dragon tail sitting there, and it's sitting in the third. Your third house is your mental process. Anytime we have a dragon's tail sitting on our third house, well, this creates some issues with our own mental process. Now, hers was in Aquarius, okay? And anytime you have a dragon's tail negative in Aquarius, let me bring this up. Her natal dragon was in a Leo Aquarius axis on the 9th and the 3rd house, and she was born with the nodes in retrograde. So anytime you're born with your nodes in retrograde, this meaning that the energies are inverted instead of moving outward and creating a soul who is very stuck on their past life actions and deeds. And anytime we're dealing with the South Node in Aquarius, we are dealing with a soul who hasn't learned their past life lessons. She's focused on her wants, her needs, her dreams, her success, and her abundance. She will walk over anyone or anything to get to where she wants to be in life. Her circles included strange and bizarre friends, and even the wrong friends, like Jeffrey Epstein. She also has a hidden dragon energy, and it's not on. You won't see it on this chart. For those of you who've had a reading from me, you know that I incorporate the hidden into your chart as an added bonus. That's not on my software. It's just something I've been blessed to be able to learn this. So she has a hidden sitting there. Going back to the chart, she has a hidden dragon in her chart sitting in the tail's in Sagittarius, and the head is in Gemini. And then we are in that axis right now. But the tail is right on her, right here on her. And I've always said in this energy, the two signs that this dragon energy is going to be hunting for are Sagittarius, December born, and June born souls. Now, when I say that, remember, this is ancient astrology, not modern astrology. So this energy is going to be hunting for December born Capricorns, as well as June born Cancers and Geminis. So I do believe it'll be a little easier for the Geminis because the dragon's head is writing. It's the head. So it's the wheel of fortune. It's good luck, as to where her tail is sitting on herself, her soul's purpose. This is karmic residue coming back. I feel nothing for her. She deserves everything that's coming for her. I hope she stays alive long enough to expose the things she needs to expose. And I'm going to get to more on that in a minute. Let me just make sure. This is a person who, the richer she is, the greedier she becomes. This was her goals in life. Back to Saturn in the second house for a minute. Anytime we're dealing with this placement, this is a soul who is always obsessed with money and is highly ambitious. She's just greedy. She's just a greedy, greedy soul. Okay. Where I was. Anyway, so having that dragon tail sitting in her third house, that does affect your mental process in some ways, makes you make wrong choices in life. Anytime we have the tail in Aquarius, this is the bizarre, the strange. And I think grooming 13 and 14-year-old girls is bizarre. It's disgusting. It's strange. It's not right at all. Okay, so her dragon's head. Let's go up to her dragon's head. 9th house. There I go again. 9th house. I will get used to this. Where am I? There it is. 9th house. 9th house. That is your house of foreigners, foreign lands, higher knowledge, courts, justice. But let's look at that 9th house for a minute, okay? Go here. Anytime you have a dragon's head in Leo, this is where spotlight comes in. This is where fame, center stage comes in. And it's in the 9th house, ruling foreigners, foreign lands. She also has a moon sitting there. So you throw in the moon in Leo right on the dragon's head, and this creates a lady with many riches, many wealthy foreigner connections, and high-profile people who do not want to be exposed. She knows how to use her charm and her wit to her advantage. This is a Capricorn quality of the beauty of manipulation. She is a leader and was fully in charge of the operation she did under Epstein. Like I said, she was his right hand. Let's go into her 10th house, because these, like I said, when I looked at her chart, these are the things that popped out at me, and these are the things I wrote about. Okay, let me go find the camera. Bring it down. 10th house, right here. See the P? P for Pluto, 10th house. Your 10th house is your career house. This is your accomplishments in life, your public standing. She's got Pluto in the 10th house. Anytime you have Pluto, I don't care where it's placed in your chart, this is the planet of life, death, rebirth, transformation. This is sex. This is the planet of sex, your intimacy. This is the planet of wealth in some ways, other people's money, benefiting from other people's money. And it was in the 10th house. This was her career house. So we go to the 10th house. Let's see. Her Pluto is in Virgo on the 10th house, that makes her highly ambitious in career. And she may rise to a position of leadership and power. She feels that rules do not apply to her, which we've seen. The challenge for her in this life is to use her powers over others to benefit and help people. But instead, she used her powers to use, abuse, and achieve personal financial gains in the process of exploiting teenage girls. Oh, what an evil, negative human being. I have Epstein's chart up too, which I don't think I've ever done a write-up on him, have I? I'll have to go scroll my YouTube videos. I don't remember doing one on him, but I have him up. I'm looking at him on my software. I want to explain to you something about Saturn, because this all has to do with that planet right now. Okay. It's just a matter of time before they got her. But when Epstein died, I'm looking at Epstein's birthday. Let's jump to him for just a minute. And even though I can't show you, I didn't print it out. Epstein was born January 20th, 1953. So he was born in the sun sign of Aquarius, but he was January. He was born in January. So think back to when this last dragon's energy was. His tail, the energy was riding his first house, his soul's purpose. So anytime you're dealing with a Capricorn dragon's tail, you are dealing with an energy that's coming for you karmically. Now, Ghislaine I'm trying not to say it in the past tense. I just have this fear that she's going to be taken out. And I think that's why I keep saying she was instead of she is. Let's talk about Saturn, though. Saturn was in Capricorn, and it's back in Capricorn now. But in the end, Saturn moved back into Capricorn as of July 1st. From the 21st of March 2020 to July 1st of 2020, Saturn moved back into Aquarius. Saturn jumped into Aquarius, and from March 21st through July 1st, those 3 months are a window of what we're going to see. It's a precursor to what we're going to see when Saturn officially moves into Aquarius in December 17th, I think. It stations there and it stays there for a good 2.5 years. But it has moved back into Capricorn right now. So Saturn being back in Capricorn, what is happening is that planet is coming back to finish the job, finish what it didn't do karmically. So Saturn sitting in the first house of Jeffrey Epstein. Karma came to him. Unfortunately, someone murdered him so he wouldn't talk. And I'm worried that's going to happen to this person as well. Now, in this case, Saturn has moved back to her second house. This is the house of money and wealth. And this is right on her. Karmically, natally speaking, she's born with a Saturn in Capricorn. So this is going to affect her wealth karmically. Everything she's built is getting ready to be taken away tenfold, as it should be. I'm trying to find my place there. Like I said, this is Saturn's second tour of Capricorn, and this time the planet of karma is going to come back around and finish the job of what was missed the first time. Epstein died when Capricorn was in Saturn, along with a dragon's tail sitting in Capricorn. And like I said before, 2 karmic signs, Pisces and Capricorn. Saturn will always repay his children with karma, both good and bad. Always remember that. Now, let's hope she is kept alive long enough for those girls to have justice served and to expose the elitists and the high-profile people who have been directly involved in this abuse for years. This could be the beginning of a major investigation as evidence unfolds and seems to correlate with the next dragon energy that's coming in late January of 2022. We move into a negative Scorpio energy where it will all be exposed. There's also a possibility of a new anytime you have the dragon tail sitting in Scorpio, this is a major on the esoteric level. This is where the portals can open and darker energies can come through. Scorpio rules sex, so the sex industry is going to get exposed. There's a negative shadow on the police force. More to come with this dragon energy coming. A lot more will be exposed in time. And that is about all I have on Ghislaine Maxwell. If this lady is going to die, let's be frank here. Really, I mean, chances of her making it through this are I would be very surprised if she got through this. That someone's definitely protecting her, and maybe even a higher power, because justice needs to be served. But I'm looking at her chart. If she is going to be taken out, it will happen within a Uranic phase or even a Platonic phase. Those are the two phases that I see her losing her life. Now, I do want to talk about something, and it's because when I'm doing my stars, know that I do not come from a religious aspect or even a political one when I do it. And it just seems like those are the two evils that are plaguing this planet right now, politics and religion. I mean, even with this COVID thing, it is turned political. So this morning, and I will admit this is another reason I was a little late getting on here this morning, is I watch a shaman. Oh my God, I don't know. Let me bring him up on Facebook because I have a problem pronouncing his name. Lady Eyes of Green, help me here. I'm having a blank here. The shaman we follow. Vivoli? Oh my God. I was just watching him. Vivoli. Let me bring him up. I can't seem to find him at the moment. Anyway, I was watching this shaman this morning. I'm hoping she pops in and says something. And he was talking about a great awakening, and the reason everything is the way it is because we are out of balance with nature. And he was actually talking about, it's bugging the hell out of me, Diodo. Alberto Diodo. Okay. Thank you, Lady Eyes of Green. Thank you. Yes, I was watching him this morning talking, and I will admit that's probably why I'm late. Besides having to redo the router, I was really engrossed with what he was talking about. And he was actually talking about a lot of these diseases that are coming are because the environment is so off balanced. He was talking about the Ebola virus. When it first came out in Africa, they were able to quarantine that virus because of the forest. But then the loggers came in and started logging and cutting down all those trees, and then that disease spread. So what he was trying to say is, because we've lost our touch with nature, a lot of these diseases are happening because there's an imbalance in nature. You watched it too. It wasn't that enlightening. Oh my gosh. Any of you ladies and gentlemen out there, please go check him out. He's Lady Eyes of Green just posted his name, Alberto, and his last name, Viodo. Alberto Viodo. And I think he runs oh my God, something wins. That's his company. Anyway, it was really enlightening. I was really talking about how a lot of our problems have to do with the decline in human beings being in tune with nature and the environment. Basically, the earth will always be here. It'll repair itself. We're the ones who are getting ready to become extinct, and a new type of human wins society. That's it. It's a shamanic school. I encourage you all to take the time to go check him out, because after you listen to him, you feel empowered. You feel enlightened. You don't feel like depressed. Oh my God. Oh my God. He really does have a way of empowering and enlightening you. But he was talking about this, and it made me think of all the things going on in the world with the COVID and the conspiracy theories and all of this stuff. And hey, I'm all for a good conspiracy theory. The sex trafficking issue is a very, very real problem, okay? This is not fabricated. This is not made up. There are a lot of people getting ready to be exposed higher up with sex trafficking and having a thing for little children, which is disgusting. But certain groups, certain organizations take this to a political thing. And what I find amusing about this is the fact that the people they've put on their list, and I'm not saying that they're not guilty. I know that there is a lot of perversions in Hollywood. I get that. And I'm sure great many of the people that they've labeled on that list are probably guilty. But what I find interesting, and this is where you all have to step out of the box and look at it in a different perspective and look and see if there's a religious agenda or a political agenda. Because if there's a religious or a political agenda, then the news and information you're getting may not be factual. It may be tampered with to suit a certain agenda. Now, what I find interesting about some of the information, like QAnon, let's talk about them. And I know a lot of you don't know who the heck that is, so I'm going to punch it in. 80% of the stuff they throw out there is BS, in my opinion. Okay, now they did get the child sex trafficking thing right. I will give them credit for that. Like I said, 20% is factual, 80% is a political agenda. Okay, they are kind of involved in this whole sex trafficking conspiracy, which is not a conspiracy. It is real. It's true. It is happening. But what I find funny is the list of people they've put in this thing. And trust me, the creepy Clintons are on this list too. Okay, and I'm sure they're... But they have it in their head that President Trump is going to free the children, help the children. I want to say the F word right now, but I'm not. President Trump doesn't give a rat's ass about the children. He's not going to help the children. He's going to save his own ass before he saves anyone else's. So what I find interesting is all the pictures they've put up about all the people that are pedophiles. I think that maybe 80% of it is factual. But what I find funny, and this is where I see the agenda, is everybody on that list, they're all Democratic. They're all liberal. So you're telling me that there's no perverts in conservatism or Republicans? Trust me. How do I say this without insulting anyone? Conservative Christians are some of the most freaky, disgusting people there are. They hide in the closet, but they're dirty. So if you think that it's only a Democratic and liberal thing, I'm sorry. Pedophilia knows no political realm. Pedophilia knows no religious realm. Pedophilia is pedophilia. It's sick. It's disgusting. I get it. But look deeper into some of these things that are popping up conspiracy theory wise, and really study and decipher them, and look and see if there is an underlying message being brought to the table, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a mess. And there's always going to be conspiracy theories, and some of them are very, very, very true. But some of them, you have to sit back and put a little logic and reason into them first. Now, I read the stars, so I have something on my side that others don't. I firmly believe that Donald Trump is in that list too. And the other day, when they made this big thing in politics about how he said he wished her well. Okay, I've heard people talk about, oh, he was being sarcastic and he didn't mean it. You know what I think he was doing? He was warning her, keep your mouth shut if you want to live. I wish you well. Keep your mouth shut. Because if you don't think Trump is on that list, think again. I think some of you seem to forget what he was before he was president. Think about what he was before he was president. He was in the entertainment industry. He ran the beauty pageants. You don't think he's a big, dirty old perv? He's going to save the children. My ass, he's going to save the children. He's going to save his own demented, fat ass first. Because he's a selfish son of a bitch. So, for those of you out there, the conspiracy theory with the sex trafficking, absolutely very real, very true. QAnon did get this one right. I will give them credit for that. But what they have gotten wrong is the list of people. It's going to be far more than just Democrats and or liberals. There's perverts in both parties. And that's what this Saturn coming back into Capricorn is doing. It's going to clean house and then expose the rest, expose what it missed the first time around. This is its second tour. It's getting a second chance. The karma train is coming with Saturn. So just to shed some light on that, I know a lot of my friends are really involved in the QAnon thing, and I'm not trying to diss them in any way, but do look, there's an agenda. And if you are surrounded by politics all the time, then you're gonna go into it with rose-colored glasses on. Take the rose-colored glasses off and put logic and reason into things, and you'll be able to decipher it much better. It's not what he was. He still is. He will always be the same way, no matter what platform he is on. You're right. You're right. I agree with that. If you see what's happening right now in Portland, when we've got these unmarked, or I call them the Gestapo. These they're not police. I call them the Gestapo. We got the Gestapo in Portland. I'm really starting to think that as his numbers drop, he's either going to instill martial law so he stays in power, or he's going to drop out and he might even defect to Russia. Because I think once he gets out of office, they're going to arrest him for something. I'm not sure what. And I'm not a political analysis. It's just what I'm seeing in the stars. There's just a couple of different options and possibilities that are going on right now with Trump. And he may even go out And he is no comparison to JFK, contrary to what his base wants to think. Oh, here's another conspiracy. Oh, here's a doozy. This is another doozy I have to share with you because I discovered it yesterday. So, President Kennedy's son, who died in the plane crash with his wife or fiance many years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. No, 20 years ago. I think it was in 2000, 2001. I don't remember his name. He ran that magazine. Okay, so there's a conspiracy theory out there that he didn't really die and he is secretly supporting Trump. And so there's been conspiracy theories about his death as well. I've heard that the Bush family took him out back then because he was going to run for president. He probably would have won. Probably solely on his good looks because he was a very handsome guy. But that is another conspiracy that's out there, is that he never died and he's secretly working underground with his wife to help Trump. This is another conspiracy I read yesterday. So I guess where it came from. QAnon. So yeah, there's a lot of them out there. You've got to put a little logic and reason into them. But I will tell you this, the sex trafficking thing is a real thing. And don't tell me for a minute that this whole thing with keeping immigrant children in cages over there in Texas isn't correlated to this, because it is. And a lot of them who have disappeared, they should be, if they were lucky, they would die. Okay, death would be a gift, unfortunately. And I know that's a harsh thing to say, but these kids are being rounded up and put into these sex trafficking rings. That's why people can't find their children. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. And you can all call me crazy, but when it unfolds in a year or two, you're going to go, oh my God. That is real. That's happening. So for those people that think Trump is going to be the savior of these children, no, man. Trump is going to save his own ass. And he was very familiar with this woman. There are many pictures on the internet surfacing about him. And I don't really feed into too much media because I've caught both sides. I've caught Fox in lies. I've caught MSNBC in lies. So I don't play that media game. The only probably media outlet that I believe reports factual news is RT, believe it or not, Russia Today. They report a great deal of factual news. And anytime you have someone like Jesse Ventura on there, you're going to get factual news. In fact, he's a man I wish would run for president. He would have my vote tenfold. This is a man who has been a governor, independent governor. He knows that both political parties are part of the one-headed, two-headed, one-party system. Okay. He was an independent governor. He was a former Navy SEAL. I really wish he would run for office because he would have my vote. He's a conspiracy theorist too. Okay. There are things he's unfolded that are pretty amazing. The difference is his conspiracy theories are true, not fabricated by a political or religious agenda. That's what I'm trying to say. Some conspiracy theories are very, very true. See, he'd have my vote too. I don't know, there's just something sexy about a man on a Harley. Okay. And he's got that long, even though he's old, he's getting older. There's just something very appealing about it. I watch his show on RT, and it's very interesting. His son has a show too, so they're always exposing things. And it's not just political stuff. It's health. It's the big pharmaceutical companies. And that's another thing. Let's talk about that for just 1 minute before I get off of here, is They're going to miraculously have this vaccination for the COVID thing, okay? And I'm assuming it's going to be like a flu shot. I don't take a flu shot, never have, never will. I've done it once, and the one time I did do it, when my kids were little, it was the sickest I have ever been in my life, and my daughter got so sick that it turned into pneumonia. So best way, my flu shot is probably one of my oils I do in a pill. Nature's flu shot, juicing, keeping the immune system up. And I know not all of us, there are people with weakened immune systems, so some of them need those flu shots. I'm not saying to get them or not get them, but that's your choice. I don't think people should have that crammed down their throat. They should have an option if they want to have that or not. But they're working so frantically on this vaccine. Anytime you have big pharma getting involved in anything, you know for a fact that they don't have mankind's greater good. This is all about money. Once again, they're seeing dollar signs, how they're going to make money off of this vaccine that they're trying to create. And we are stuck with this disease and this virus probably for another year. This isn't going to go away till 2022, unfortunately. We're stuck with this for quite some time. So only time will tell. As with Ghislaine Maxwell, December is going to probably be one of her worst months, along with February. She might get lucky in August because her dragon head is in Leo, and so August might be a lucky month for her where things might go her way. I mean, she might live this month. The dragon energy for August is more positive in nature than negative. And it's her dragon head month, so she's riding a lucky month. Only time will tell. But to end this, the sex trafficking thing is very, very real. It's just that it's been exploited into a political thing. And trust me, there's going to be a lot of people exposed. There are going to be people exposed that you kind of sit back and go, holy crap, I didn't know that. And it's going to be all walks of life. It's not going to just be Democrats and liberals. There's going to be perverted politicians on there from the Republican Party and all other kinds of things. It's not going to just be one. That's what I'm saying. They take it to a political place. Think outside the box. Look for the answers within your own. And don't fall for all the conspiracy theories that are out there, because with a dragon's tail sitting in Sagittarius universally right now, this is going to be our downfall and our demise, is all of these conspiracy theories. And I'm not saying some of them are very real. Some of them are very true. Some of them are so preposterous that you'd have to be an idiot to believe in them. I mean, you would just have, clearly you do not have any logic or reason. People that fall for these really easily clearly don't have a lot of Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus in their chart. When you have a lot of those earth energies are logic, they're reason. You don't have those earth energies right now. We're operating on a negative where, you know, the dragon head, when it's in Sagittarius, is the truth seeker. Right now, the tail's reversed. It's negative. It's in its negative phase. So truth isn't going to be revealed. People are going to keep their head buried in the sand and not decipher the truth. That's going to be our downfall, unfortunately. But I hope that helped. I have to go and fix the newsletter I wrote. I did this late at night, and sometimes when I do it late at night, I don't type it right, and I should have double checked before I published it. But I have to go in and fix some spelling words and some dates on there. But that is the rundown for Ghislaine Maxwell and her stars. Time will tell what'll happen to her. I hope she does live, because I want her to pay for her sins. But, you know, we're dealing with Illuminati energy in some ways. She's going to expose very rich, very, very prominent people. And it's going to be very interesting what happens. So stay tuned. And I hope all of you out there have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm going to probably get back on here Monday or Tuesday sometime. I'm going to take the weekend off. I have one more reading to finish up. And I'm done for a little bit. I'll be able to do more videos and stuff like that. Trying to get a few people on here with me. One of them is in the chat. She knows who she is. The other one is, I haven't asked them yet. So some of you would ask me who I follow, who I do research on, who I study with. And so one of them is, and I don't know if I'm able to bring that up in this chat or not, but his name is, hold on. I bring him up because I'm in the middle of taking couple of his classes, and that's another reason I'm going to stop doing the readings for a couple of weeks, is because I need to catch up on my own studies. And hold on. I want to share this with you before I leave, and that is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to type it in. It's called occultcourses.com. Now, the man who runs it is an incredible human being. He speaks like 4 different languages, and they're ancient languages. He speaks Hebrew. He speaks ancient Greek. He speaks some sort of Farsi. He's written a lot of different books about a lot of different deities, and one of them being Lilith. He wrote this book about Lilith, and what I like about his teachings is that you're not just being taught about the occult world. You're actually getting a history lesson. And that's what I like about him. He's a teacher. He's a historian. He's very educated. His name is Bal Kadmon. And you can check him out. He actually has his own YouTube channel that I follow. Now, some of his material may be a little dark for some of you, because he does talk about demons, and he talks about King Solomon. So some of his teachings can be a little dark. But when we're educated on these things, from the darkness comes the light. When we're educated on these things, then we have a better understanding and a better knowledge of these deities. Like I said, you can't have demons without angels. I work a lot with the angel cards, but they're polar opposites, like night and day, black and white, man and woman. Demons, angels. You have to have both polarities in this world. So he does discuss certain demons, and I have studied about certain demons, and you know, some people go, oh my God, you're going down this wrong path. No, I'm not. Knowledge is power. You have to educate yourself on the darker side of things to prepare yourself in life for things that come up, esoterically speaking. I believe Lady Eyes of Green can relate to this on some level. You have to study the darker path in order to learn from it. It's a learning opportunity. It's a learning adventure. So he is one of my teachers. He's one that I follow. So I'm going to be taking these couple of weeks to not do too many readings because I want to finish my course. I'm taking a course on lucid dreams because even as your astrologer, you know, I come on here to give you the information that I've been taught. I'm not the all-knowing wise one. I'm not the oracle. You know, I'm learning too. I'm still on this journey myself. When we stop learning, we stop growing. So we can learn at any age. And even myself being 50 years old, I am still learning. And it's a wonderful thing. So always open your mind up to higher consciousness. And you'll see how opening yourself up to things that may seem taboo or may seem even darker aren't really dark. They're enlightening. They're teaching you something. So Paul Cadman is one of my teachers, and I'm learning some lucid dreams because even as your astrologer, I have an issue with remembering a lot of my dreams. And I shouldn't be like this because in my stars, my dragon head is in the 3rd house of Pisces. That's mental process, but that's also dreams. I should be able to remember my dreams. So I've been working really hard. Exactly, Lady Eyes of Green. You are an energy healer. So you do need to know the negative or dark to be able to help your clients. Perfectly understandable. Absolutely. I've seen and helped clients with demonic attachments, so knowing how to deal with those is important. Absolutely. And that's why I study up on this, because even as an astrologer, even though I'm not really the energy healer, I work with the stars. As a witch, we all have our energy healing abilities, but you have to know the dark with the light in order to help your clients. So yes, Lady Eyes of Green, you nailed it. But even with myself, I'm having an issue with remembering my dreams. And some mornings I wake up in a real foul mood, and it's like I must have had a nightmare or a dream, and I can't remember it. And then there's some mornings I wake up and I'm in a great mood, and I'm remembering like snippets of dreams, but I'm not remembering everything. So I am working on that for myself. And Mr. Balkadman is helping me to achieve that. So yes, we're always learning. Even your astrologer is always learning. And I've also adventured into a new method of astrology. I signed up for a class yesterday on that. It's going to take me many, many months to finish. But me being an ancient astrologer and me following the Nostradamus method, I thought it would be perfectly fitting for me to take another ancient astrology class. So in time, in several months from now, I will become certified in the Babylonian method of astrology, which is another ancient form. And it's not on the tropical method like I do. It's on the sidereal. So it's almost like Vedic, I'd say. Very similar. So that's me exploring other methods of astrology. Just because of my curiosity for it. I want to learn as much as I can, and modern astrology bores me a bit. So I sort of steer more to the Eastern philosophies of astrology than I do the Western. Exactly. Being versed in everything is about being an occultist, and it's, I've actually gone rounds with people who've trolled my Facebook page and seen that I have on there occultist. And these are actually, once again, some of the hardcore conspiracy theorists who turn around and tell me that, oh, you're an occultist, so you're like one of those weird Aleister Crowley followers. You're a devil worshiper. You're this. Okay. That shows me how indoctrinated you are, and you couldn't buy a damn clue. I get that a lot, and it's usually from a conspiracy theorist or someone who's heavily involved in those. It turns around and says that to me. So I don't care. The joke's on them. I'm always a step ahead because I read the stars. Like the saying goes, whether you are Christian, pagan, or atheist, those stars up above are not just constellations to look at. They're messages. God's messages written in starlight, goddess messages, great spirit, whatever you want to call it. Those messages up there are written in starlight. They're written for us as humans to read and learn from, but that is a very taboo subject. Astrology is an ancient science, but we've, how do I put this? It's an ancient science, but scientists have come in and, disassociated it. Remember, astrology is a byproduct, or I should say astronomy is a byproduct of astrology, which is a much older and ancient science. So you'll never hear this from astronomers or scientists, but it is very true. Read the stars and you can read God's celestial message in some ways, or a higher powers message, great spirit, whatever you want to call it. So I've been blessed. So when I hear things and look at things, I always go to the software and pull it up and look into the future. That's my crystal ball. And I'm at a point where I really don't care what people think. I think that comes with age, I really do. Because when you're in your 20s and your 30s, most care what people think. Once you hit a certain age, I don't give a rat's ass anymore. I'm going to be one of those real feisty old ladies, I think. Oh, Lady Eyes of Green, if they ever throw us in the rest home together, they're in trouble. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little write-up on Ghislaine Maxwell. If you have any questions, you can always contact me at astrologywitch.com. Please give this a like. I've made it to 100 followers. Woohoo! So please give it a like if you like this material. And I should be back on here in a couple of days. Have a great weekend. It is Friday. So happy Friday to everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We are moving into a Platonic energy. What's the date today? What is the date today? The 24th? 23rd? '23rd, 24th. We have a Platonic phase going in effect for this weekend. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of the dates I put in. Anyway, I had said in my newsletter, this is not the weekend to go out and party and have fun and do things. This is real negative energy. We will see more problems with the police, whatever those people are, Trump goons, the Trump goons that go into towns and raise hell. We're going to see more with that. And it's going to be some negative energy. There will be some secrets that come to light this weekend in some way. And usually the rich and the famous make the news. We could lose another Hollywood celebrity. Things like that happen with Platonic energy phases. So just be safe, know your surroundings. And like I always say, please check your bank accounts, because Platonic energy is the perfect time for thieves and criminals to tap into your bank account and take your money. Check your cryptocurrency too, because this is happening in the crypto world as well. With stuff. Hi, Shiny Catcher Christy. I love that name. How cute. First time watcher. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and her evil, negative, icky stars. And I'm giving everyone a warning here about the weekend. Like I said, this is the weekend where the rapists, the murderers, the criminals all come out of the woodwork. So watch your kids. This isn't where children get abducted. This is a very negative celestial energy that's here, but it's also powerful energy. we have a couple of days that the moon is in Scorpio, and this creates real high magic. I don't have to tell anybody that's in the chat that is into magic that Scorpio moons are very powerful. They're very powerful for love and lust spells, fertility spells, but they're also excellent for divination. So usually I'm on fire when the moon is in Scorpio with tarot readings, pendulum work, things like that are very, very productive in this moon energy. So just because I'm telling you to be careful in this moon's energy, there's also things you can do in this moon's energy as well. And like I said, watch your surroundings. Go with the tried and the true. Please don't go into surroundings you're not familiar with, because then that's when problems occur. Don't go on any dates right now. Not that anyone's, we're all quarantined and sheltered in place, so not too many people are going out on dates. But a lot of people who have gone out on dates during this phase have either had a very negative experience with a platonic soul who, I had one client tell me she went on a date. This was many years ago, but I had one client tell me she went out on a date and that the guy like stuck a Mickey in her drink. No, I don't know, tried to drug her with like a date rape drug. She's a witch. So she said when she came back from the bathroom, you're not realizing that she was also a probation officer. So she had some gifts in law enforcement. She kind of sat there and was looking at her drink and how there was something like, you could tell when someone puts something in your drink. Always look at your drink when you leave. If you leave your drink there and you go to the restroom, you come back and look at your drink. So she figured out that he had stuck something in her drink, so she nonchalantly accidentally spilled it and had another one ordered. In the process of this, she was texting one of her fellow officers, who happened to be on duty at the time. She texted him and said, "Could you run this name?" She ran that name, and it came back a lot of sexual abuse things going on. He had done time for rape or something like that. So, like I said, this energy brings those souls out. So know your surroundings, know you're going out on a date with, and just be careful. Have fun, though. You still can go out and enjoy. This is Scorpio energy. So go to the water to regenerate with water if you feel the need. Go somewhere where there's water, a lake, a stream, a river. Have a picnic with your family. Those are things you still can do. Just don't go to any crowd. Stay out of crowds. Don't protest. Stay out of protests. You're gonna pay the price if you do. If you go to any protest this weekend, be prepared to pay the price. All right, that's my spiel. Let me go read what I said here. Let's see. Oh my God, congratulations. You just found out you're pregnant. How wonderful. I think I'm 6 weeks. I find out Wednesday. I'm 35 and married 6 years. I'm a Scorpio. Nervous, excited, in shock, all of the above. That is wonderful. Congratulations, Shiny Catcher Christy. I'm so happy for you. Children are a blessing. It's a wonderful thing. And you being Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, the sign of witchcraft and metaphysics. So a lot of Scorpios, many of them have their third eye open. Being 35, that's when I had my last child at 35. I'm an older mom. There's nothing wrong with being an older mom. I lived my life in my 20s. There was no way I was having kids in my 20s. I was a bit of a party girl, and I traveled to Europe, hung out with my friends in Ireland, and I did all these fun things in my 20s. I have no regrets, because a lot of my friends who had kids in their early 20s seem to have a midlife crisis come 40, where they want to go out to the clubs and they want to do this and they want to do that. And they didn't get that experience because they were home raising their children. when you're in your 30s, you know, you've kind of, what's the term that they used? You've kind of sowed your royal oats, so to speak. Now, you've experienced things. You've lived that life. You've been the party girl or the party guy. Or whatever it is you've done in your life. Once that phase is over, you're ready for kids. You're ready. So I have no regrets having kids later in life. Like I said, my last one was at 35. She's 15 now. And for me as a mom, it's just having kids later in life has made it more, I'm more grounded now. I couldn't fathom having kids in my 20s. There's just no way. No way. But that's me. Not everyone is like, and we're all different. Wow. Shiny Catcher Christy, I want to tell you something. They told my mother that too. They told my mother for years, you can never have kids. You'll never have children. So just either plan on adopting or being childless. They told my mother this for years. And my mother had me at 33. I'm her one and only. She had me at 33. But when they say you can't, that's when it happens. Because even my mom was like, they say I can't have kids, but I feel it. I feel like I'm going to have one someday. How could you say that? So that is a miracle. And that means that that child was meant to be, and there is a purpose for him and for you. So I'm so happy for you. I love to hear good news. What a way to end this show on good news. Congratulations, my dear. Makes me, brings tears to my eyes because it's a wonderful thing. And it's funny, I just did a reading on someone to end this who they told her she couldn't have kids, so she adopted. Now she has 2 kids of her own, plus the child she adopted. She has 2 others. So it's a beautiful thing here. You know, and when, forget science. Science can be wrong sometimes, you know. So that's great. And I've heard stories like this before. So it's just, sometimes it's the way it works. Beautiful. You'll have to keep us posted, Shiny Catcher. I think it's wonderful. You're going to make me cry too. And I'm operating on an unlucky dragon day today. So I woke up not feeling very well. I had a headache in the middle of the night, and I'm actually doing better. It wasn't a full-blown migraine. So, but I have my allergies, and I'm just kind of feeling off today. But I had to get on here and do this for all of you because the weekend is here, and I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow, but Shiny Catcher Christy, thank you for joining us. Please give the channel a like, and if you ever have any questions on astrology, please don't hesitate to ask me. astrologywitch22@gmail.com. Check out my website. It is a work in progress. My teenager is redoing it, so the forecast is in there, but there's like pages that don't exist right now, and she's working on that for me. And that's another reason I'm not doing any more readings right now, is because I need to play catch up and focus on taking care of my business. But anyway, have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and be safe out there, and I will see you on Monday. Have a good one. Ciao. Bye, you guys. Blessings to all. Have a good weekend.